Okay. Last time, where did we arrive? We were here. X9 is not active. This is cost component structure for indirect activity allocation and for costing attributes. And in attributes, we have consumables, electricity, rent, salaries. Select this and cost component structure X9, ZAP 9 from cost. Now, what is the cost element for electricity? Have we created that already? Let's see. Okay, cost component is 30. Okay. Attributes 50. I'll explain what this is all about. New entries X9 is ZAP 9 and 400, 600 cost component. Cost component will be 50. So we can have multiple cost elements assigned over here for different rent cost elements. 90 salaries X9 ZAP 9 400, 500, 9. Okay. Save. Okay, this is done. Now, what we are actually doing is basically creating a cost component structure on the basis of which activity allocation will be done. Okay. Now, let's go back. X9 active. Okay, it was saved. Okay. Next is okay EQ. Cost component structure is an essential in product costing planning. Okay. Now, version 0. Controlling area settings 0. Okay. Now, our current fiscal year is 2024. Double click. Okay. Or an exchange rate that will be T 01/01/2024. Value date. Now P is for standard translation for cost planning. What is standard translation? We usually use M, standard translation at average rate. P is for cost planning, because since we have maintained different currencies at ledger level, ledger settings, that's why we need to have an exchange rate. Okay. Method will be price calculation. Periodic price. This will not be average price because our costing will be periodic. Actual will be periodic price because after every 1 month or 1 season we will be costing our material. Revaluation. Our own business transaction. Now, what is revaluation here? Legal valuation, group valuation, and profit center valuation. We've already done that, and that will be applied to our own transactions. Okay. Cost component structure. Now, this is where you integrate X9. Okay. Transaction currency will be which one? Company code. Come on. Okay. Object currency, controlling area currency. We will not take any. We'll keep it blank so that we can actually choose our own when we are going for the entries. Okay. I hope this is all correct. I hope this is all understandable. I know this configuration a little bit confusing, but it will fall in place with time. Continue. Continue. Okay. Okay. This was done. Now, what we're doing, cost component structure is now being integrated. Okay. For price calculation and for planning. Okay. What is the planning? Planning of costing, of activity distribution, of material valuation. Everything is being done. Whenever the product costing will be run, it will be done every period. So planning and price calculation will be done as well. Now, these are two separate processes that you will do. Okay. Okay. Next step, OBA 7. When OBA 7, what we'll do, CO posting, this is our document type. Exchange rate type is P for planning. Okay. Next is OB08. Okay, OB08, new entries, exchange rate M0101 2024, indirect quotation. AED is 0.272 USD. One entry chosen, M0101 2024. Just a second, let me. 22.86 INR to 18. Okay. So what we are actually doing over here, for 1 dirham, what we get is a direct conversion of 27 cents. But indirectly, if we give 22 Indian rupees, we get 1 dirham. This is indirect. Okay. Safe. Okay. I hope this is clear. This is also a part of your FI. KSC1. Now let's lap 9, not lap 9. Okay, S ZAP 9, KSC1, ZAP 4. Now this is the cycle name, ZAP 4. Okay, 0101 2020 24. Okay. Allocation of testing hours, attached segment. Okay. Segment name is test underscore A. testing hour, automate allocation. Okay. Post quantities. Okay. Share in percentage, 100% it will be uh, distributed. Okay. Allocated. Receiver rule. Receiver rule, it will be variable portions because every cost center will have their own, or every testing activity will be different. Actual statistical key figure. Statistical key figure, sender receiver tab. Now, cost center X1009. Activity type is TSHRA. TSHRA, and the same prod. Prod group will take that. Receiving tracing factor. Statistical key figure is item. I guess we have already made this. Yes, it's already made. Attach the next segment, and next segment will be testing hour, manual. Quantity is calculated inversely because this is indirect. As I told you, I gave you an example. Okay. Share will be 100%. It will be variable portions. Actual statistical key figures, sender receiver tab, X1009, and TSHRM. This is for manual testing. Okay. Fraud. Okay. Sender values. Okay. TSHRM hours. This is the unit hours. How many hours have been spent? Okay. Receiving tracing factor, statistical key figure was item. M is manual. Activity type. I explained earlier. Let me explain. Let me explain. M is manual. Okay. What is indirect activity? Indirect activity is allocation. Now, I'll give you an example of logistics. For example, your warehouse is in Fujairah. Okay. Fujairah to Dubai is, let's say, 250 kilometers. Your raw material has to move from Fujairah port to Dubai of Sharjah plant. Okay. And that raw material movement will be done through the routes. Okay. Now, for example, in that one, there are like 10 trucks of different models, engines, tires, carrying that raw material. Okay. So in production, you're producing, let's say, what are we producing? You're producing cars, right? Cars and SUV. So raw material for SUV and cars is being transported. The transportation is also an expense. How do you calculate the expense? There are two ways. Either you calculate the fuel expense that is also included, but there is also another expense that is depreciation plus uh, tire wear and tear. Okay. So based on now, there will be different types of tires and engine types. For example, if you have like 100 trucks, so it's impossible to make note of or uh, keep a record of all the engine types and keep a record and registration, a register for engine types and tires. I mean, that will be quite a hassle, okay? Because calculate, you want to calculate depreciation cost of every trip. So what you'll do, instead, you'll make it easier using miles covered. And based on miles covered, how much depreciation percentage is usually recorded. Okay, depreciation of engines and tires. So you'll use miles or kilometers as a statistical key figure to determine what the depreciation rate will be after certain kilometers. Depreciation rate of the engines and tires. So that expense will be then transferred to cost center group, cost center group, that is fraud. Okay. I hope this is clear now. Indirect activity allocation. This is indirect activity. Okay. So this is done. Save. Come on. Okay. Next step is KP66. This is planning layout. Okay. For planning layout, basically, this is used for costing, for planning your costs and everything. Okay. Now, what we'll do, planning layout, create. That, line one, planning local currency. We'll copy a template from already that is available to us. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. 101 FFG, 101 SAP. Create. Plan fixed consumption. Delete element. Okay. Plan variable consumption will also delete this. Distribution. Yes. Yes. Plan fixed cost. This is one of the elements. Now, what we have is activity type, cost element. We have already seen that in cost component structure. We have already defined activity types as well. So now with the combination of that, we will have a plan, forecasted fixed cost of your expenses. Distribution plan again. No, we don't want this. Plan variable cost. Okay. Plan variable cost and plan fixed cost. Now, edit element, insert element, key figure with characteristics, key figure. And fixed cost in transaction currency. And fixed cost in transaction currency. Not available. Okay. Okay. Plan fixed cost. Formatting. Ready for input? Yes or no? Ready for input. Okay. Ready for input? Yes. Now it is highlighted. Plan variable cost. Formatting. Okay. This is also uh, ready for input. It will take input from us. Okay. Edit columns. Append additional fields. Okay. Edit uh, column additional fields. Unit and distribution and unit for this. Okay. edit, columns, edit, columns, append, different unit and distribution. Now, what is distribution key and what is unit? Unit is unit of measurement. Distribution key is distribution of like allocation, indirect activity, that. Edit, columns, edit, columns, append, additional. Okay, save. It was saved. Okay. Now, next step is SPRO. Cost center accounting, planning, because we are going to plan the cost and it will be done manually. Okay, define. User defined planning layouts. Now, what we'll do? Sorry, user defined planner profile. Planner profiles. Okay. New entries. Let ZAP 9-1. ZAP 9 planner profile. Authorization group is for users who will be allowed to use this planner profile. Okay. Enter. Controlling. So over here, we'll find a combination of cost element, activity, inputs. Okay. Now, distribution key currency. What is this? Equal distribution. Distribution as before. No, equal distribution, because we're using percentages, right? If you remember in the uh, activity, when we created indirect allocations for quantities, we'll keep it blank. Okay. Okay. New entries. Item 1, SAP 9-1. Planning local currency. Save. Data was saved. Next is KP04, important transaction code, planner profile, SAP 9. Now it has been set. Okay. KP06. Version 0. 1-to-1 fiscal year 2024. Enter value cost center or group prod. Enter value cost element. Four hundred five, 400, 500, 400, 600. Okay. We'll also take activity types as well. But right now we're just trying to see how the form actually looks like. So what we're actually looking at is cost element based activity input planning. Under which cost element? Now this is plan fixed cost, variable cost, distribution units. This is what we designed, right? INR. Okay. So this is what actually we designed. Okay. We won't post this because we have to enter values also. So let's stop over here for today.